Welcome to Session Zero. I'm Josh Strife. This is the first episode in a short campaign to introduce you to our brand new set. But before we start our adventure, let's go around and meet the party.
I am Callum Upton, playing the human bard Mullac Drab. He's a relic hunter of sorts with a bit of a tragic backstory, which I'm sure we'll uncover as we go on. And yeah, that's me. I've got my flute, I've got my rapier, and I am ready for adventure.
Now, for those the audience members who have been watching previously, Mullac Drab is not exactly the same as Callum the Bard.
No, he's not. He's an ancestor of sorts. He's got a lot of the same sort of past, but the future is a bit different.
Fantastic. I look forward to Mullac Drab's treasure-seeking adventures. Jess, tell us about your character.
Hello. So I'm playing a human barbarian called Rage for simplicity, but she actually has a proper name. It's Angharage Bach, which means, well, it means Angharage Bach. Bach is little in Welsh, so her nickname is technically Little Rage. She is a pretty innocent, naive type of person that's not yet been kind of exposed to the harsh realities of worlds ever. So it's going to be interesting to see how she copes when she's adventuring with parties, especially with these two characters, because they're quite seasoned.
So Angharage is inexperienced and naive, but wants to see the big wide world to prove her worth to herself. Fantastic. And last but not least, Billie.
Hi, so I'm Billie Trixx, and I'm going to be playing Yemmara Trixx. She is a high elf sorcerer. She is really strong-willed and trying to be quite independent, which is a massive flaw of hers. But she is trying to discover more about herself and learn where her magic comes from, and spends way too much time staring in the mirror, looking at herself, trying to be vain.
And I will be attempting to corral these three balls of energetic, adventurous energy into a roughly coherent plot. All of our characters want to prove themselves in their own way, to go on an adventure that's meaningful to them. Mullac Drab wants to steal valuable things and become rich in possession. Angharage wants to see what she can do away from her family independently, and Yemmara thinks that the world is hers to explore, to see what there is, and to finally find out a bit about your heritage. It's because of all these desires and drives they've all journeyed to the very small town of Phoenix Nest, a run-down, dingy place on the coast. The only thing it's particularly known for is its ship service, which travels to the north and will take you to the smaller town of Sailor's Rest, allowing access to the northern continent. While we wait in this small, dingy town of Phoenix Nest, the bartender eyes you all warily. They're not used to travellers around here. There's no industry. There's no real reason for people to visit. The ship to the north is the only reason people visit, and it's very rarely taken, as it's been rumoured recently the north is experiencing some sweeping vampiric hordes travelling across the land and destroying as they go. The bartender is uncomfortable with your presence, but you aren't the only people here today. Over in the corner, a small, dingy, shy, insecure man, wearing the robes of a priest, is nursing half a pint that he's been nursing for about half an hour. He doesn't seem to know how to drink, or how fast he should drink, or where he should make eye contact with anyone. And over in the other corner, an old man with a fabulous twirly moustache simply sits there, flipping the blade of a sword around and catching it again, likely waiting for the same ship you are. The bartender is cleaning a glass with a rag and glances over to you. I've not seen you before here, mister.
Hello, yes, I'm quite new here. I'm just passing through.
Everyone's just passing through. There's nothing for no one here. But where are you passing through to?
Well, I'm not quite sure where I want to be going to yet. I've noticed that there's literally nothing to do here. But I'm seeing where the sails take me.
Well, if you're catching the sails, the only ship you'll be taking is the Lady Luck to the north. But the captain's about a day late. Should be arriving in about an hour or two.
Well, I'm sure I can find a way to spend an hour here. It seems cosy enough.
Well, if you want to be going to the north, make sure you take the Lady Luck ship, and you want to be talking to Captain Liam, an old salty sea dog. You can't miss him. Shaved head. Big man.
Lady Luck, got it. I'll be looking out for her.
Can I get you anything while you're here?
Small glass of mead, please.
The bartender turns around and begins to pull a small glass of mead, and while you're doing all this, the little nervous priest in the corner is glancing over, looking at all of you, and then noticing that you have something of the magical about you. He doesn't say anything, he's too nervous, but he does stare at you for a while.
I'm going to speak to the bartender. Did you say the captain is late?
Aye, indeed. I think this is the captain's last journey. Are you going to the north as well? He passes the mead over to you.
I am. Not that it's any of your business, but I am going to the north, actually.
No offence meant there, miss. No offence. Your life is your life and your business is your business. But not much happens down these parts, so whenever adventurous types like yourselves come through, we're always interested.
Yes, I'm sure you are. Is he coming today then? What time was he supposed to arrive yesterday? Do we know the delay time?
Oh, Captain Liam's just excited. It's potentially the last trip he's going to make. You see, his daughter lives in the northern village of Sailor's Rest. This might be the last trip he makes. Can I get you anything? I can see there's a rather antsy customer waiting.
I'll have a wine, please, if you have any.
Well, we've got white or red?
White, thank you.
We've got red.
Red it is.
It's old.
Good.
Fantastic. He begins pouring you a red wine while motioning over to you. I'll be with you in a moment.
Excuse me. Did you say you're going to the north?
Yes, Sailor's Rest, did you say?
Aye, it's pretty much the only place you can go north.
Are you going to the north as well?
That's apparently where I'm going now.
Can I come?
Do you have a...
Well, all right, so, there's this thing where, basically, I decided to go, on a little trip, and then I went out for too long, and now I don't want to go back home, because my mom's going to be angry at me. So I thought I'd just come with you.
I respect a runaway.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Sure, why not?
My name's Rach. Nice to meet you. Oh, sorry.
Yemmara.
Nice to meet you, Mara. Rach. Wait, yeah.
Mullac.
Mullac.
Nice to meet you.
Nice. Oh,
Can I get you something, miss?
yes. Can we have some milk, please?
Milk.
She just asked for milk.
I think so.
Like from a cow.
Well, yeah.
Ah, right. You've confused me with a better bar. I can get you ale and or wine, mead we've got, or I can just get you some water that's gone a bit cloudy. I would not recommend the water that's gone a bit cloudy. While the bartender is talking to you about this, the door is suddenly kicked open, and in strides an absolutely medium-sized man, clad in a big red cloak, who simply announces to the bar, "I am the vampiric Lord Valash, and I demand tribute." The bartender goes, "Oh, for God's sake, not again."
What is going on? I'm sorry, what?
Isn't he a bit short?
How dare you? I am absolutely average vampiric size, and I demand you pay me 2 gold coins right now.
I don't think that's happening.
I say, never. The man, most likely pretending to be the vampiric Lord Valash, starts to flamboyantly flail his arms around in anger, in rage, and everyone in the bar completely ignores him. Clearly this man has done something like this before.
Oh, two gold, did you want? Okay, hold on. I have 1 silver.
It's okay, I'll take care of it for you.
Oh.
You'll take care of me? What do you mean by that? I demand tribute. Do you know who I am?
Oh, not. Go away. We're trying to pay our bill.
My goodness. I'd roll a d20.
14.
14. How do you demand he goes away? He starts to advance towards you, as if he's bullied small travellers before. He can tell you're not from round here.
I just kind of put my snootiness on. Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
Well, clearly not. Because if you don't know who I am, and I don't know who you are, then we're a bit of an impasse, aren't we?
My goodness. You must be a sage. The man steps back and begins to ponder this quandary that he's been put in about who may be who in this bar specifically, but it gives you just enough time to leave him alone while the bartender glances over to you. Look, he does this every week. Rumours are that to the north, a vampiric horde led by a malicious vampire named Valash is sweeping the land. So he pretends to be Valash just to get a couple of coins from travellers.
That's naughty.
Has he ever hurt anyone?
Oh, not in this bar, no.
I mean, it's clever if you think about it. Getting all the rewards for being someone you're not and not having to do the things that you should.
While you're discussing this, you see the man pretending to be Valash walk over to the priest in the corner. and demand tribute from this priest. The priest, clearly nervous and scared and not entirely sure what to do in this social situation, begins to almost spill his calf beer and then puts it down and begins nervously fumbling inside a coin pouch to pay off whoever this man may be.
Stop it! I say to the vampire.
I'm about to get coin from this man.
Leave him alone!
He's just a... Or what?
I will. I don't know, but stop it!
What are you going to do to stop me?
I will. I'd like to intimidate him.
How?
I will use my guns!
Roll a d20.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Yay, first one.
Guns! My only weakness!
Now, you better leave him alone now.
The man pretending to be Valash steps back and pulls a red cloak round him, attempting to cover his face in almost a vampiric scowl, but by mistake pulls it across his entire face, including his eyes and his forehead. He turns around and goes to run out the door, but unfortunately misses, catching his shoulder on the edge of the door and spinning himself out the tavern as he falls out. The bartender simply looks over and realizes that this is going to happen again tomorrow. The priest, shaking, puts the coins back in his pouch and walks over to you. Thank you.
It's okay. You're welcome. You don't need to be scared. It's okay.
Oh, I've never... It was a very exciting day for me.
My name's Rage. Nice to meet you.
I am... Oh, goodness. I'm Brother Nathaniel. He holds his hand out and shakes you. It's limp and wet.
Oh. Why are you wet?
Oh, I'm on a pilgrimage. I've been sent from my monastery to travel to a church to the north. I'll be getting on the boat, the Lady Luck, and I'll be going across the ocean like in all those books and adventures. And then I'll be hopefully going on a pilgrimage.
You're going there too.
I'm going there too, yeah. We're all going there, I think.
You do realise that we're all going towards this wonderful horde of vampires.
Oh, I've heard the rumours, but I've been trained.
Trained
Really?
how?
Well, vampires are weak to many things. Running water and sigils and sunlight and noises, loud noises. And I am a proud priest of the sunrise. He holds his hand up and a very faint glow appears in his hand, almost of daylight, which he holds for a second and then shakes his hand. Ow. Still hurts to do, but we're getting better.
That's very impressive.
Thank you.
So your pilgrimage is taking you to Sailor's Rest?
Yes, there's a small church there. I just need to visit it, pay homage at the font, and then I can travel back to the south.
Well, with a horde of vampires, it might be safer if we'll travel together.
Oh, that would be fantastic if that's okay with you.
What do you
We're all
guys
going
think?
aboard the boat, so I
Yeah,
don't see
exactly.
why not.
We're all
Excellent.
getting on together, getting off together. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Brilliant. The priest walks up to the bartender in an attempt to order another beer and has an awkward conversation with him.
Where did you say you were all from again? Sorry, I don't know if I actually asked.
I'm from a small town called Snowbush. Much further south.
Yes, I don't think I've ever heard
Yeah,
of that.
you wouldn't have. There's nothing there.
My turn. I'm from Tanalia, which is the village next to Pell, which is a village from all my friends and my family are from. But my dad actually is, he's from Pell, but he moved and he met my mum. She's called Joy, and my dad's called Cly. And well, when we moved over, and then I was born, and then we had this friend called Elwyn. Yeah.
Would I know where Pell is on the map?
Roll a d20.
9.
You are aware of the existence of a small village of Pell quite far to the south. It means there's been a serious journey to get to where we are now, which means you've obviously travelled quite a way to get to where you are now.
How long have you been travelling for? That's a long way to come.
A while. I am a little stinky.
I wasn't going to say, but,
I was worried that was me.
well,
It's me, yeah.
it could also be you as well.
It's masked by that now.
Yeah. But, well, I can come with you guys now, so, yeah.
And you, where are you from?
Oh, just a small town to the south. Hang on. Yes. In fact, it's relatively close to Pell. I believe it was I believe it was Smythe, the village over into the east. But unfortunately, the priests of the churches of the Sunrise are somewhat rare in these parts. So the further your pilgrimage takes you away, the better, and the more holy you seem to people. So I thought, may as well go for the furthest one away. It's been travelling mostly by horseback, remarkably uncomfy, but you do what you can.
Bartender, do we know what time at all that the Lady Luck is pulling in?
The bartender glances out of the window. You're in luck. We'll be talking in about 5 to 10 minutes. So, okay. Bolt the door. You, Mullac. Bolt.
Okay.
You don't bolt the door quite in time, and the door slowly opens, and in steps a much taller man with a shorter man behind him. The bartender steps almost behind the bar and begins to cower. We haven't got the money this week. It's been a slow trade day, so there's customers in here. Don't do this. The two small men, clearly enforcers of some kind, walk up to the bar and begin to have a hushed conversation with the bartender. The bartender is clearly remarkably uncomfortable. The priest, not knowing what to do during his drink serving, just retreats back to the corner, and the man with the twirly moustache in the armour begins to lean forward and take much more interest in what's happening now. The two enforcers have to walk past you, Mullac, in order to get to the bar because you went to try and bar the door. Yeah. And as you do, they throw you a sly glance. You're a man of the world, and yes. These men are clearly remarkably tough and not to be messed with.
Yes, I kind of wave them in. Make yourself at home.
Roll a d20.
2.
How dare you tell me what to do in my own pub? I own this place. Do you own this place?
No, I
then
don't.
Why are you here?
I'm a customer.
Excellent, get out.
Okay, I step out the door very slowly.
No. You leave everything you own because you're in my tavern, and therefore everything you own is mine as well. Right. And then you get out.
Yeah, that's not happening, mate.
Really, isn't it?
No.
You can see the fight is about to start, most likely. What are you doing?
Excuse me, yeah? He's right. That's not how it works.
He's ignoring you while still focusing on Mullac.
I'd like to step in front of him and just, hello?
Roll a d20.
That's it. 19.
You step in front and wave. He turns his attention to you. I'm going to give you one chance to leave everything you own and get out of this tavern right now. The bartender is cowering behind, and the man in the silver armor is leaning forward a little bit more, realizing something might be about to kick off. You can see out the window that the ship, the Lady Luck, has pulled in and is starting to board.
If the ship's coming in, we need to go anyway, and we're not leaving our stuff here.
Leave your stuff or you don't leave this tavern. The smaller man steps in front of the door, closes it behind, and just stands there with his arms folded, staring at you. The bartender leans over to you. I'd pay these men if I were you. These men control a lot of the local land, and this bar is under their protection.
Would you like my shoes as well?
Yes, actually, they would. That's the problem.
We're going to have to leave. We're leaving. The ship is here. We're leaving. I go to walk out of the
man
door.
Steps in front of you. Everything you own on the floor right now, and then I'll let you leave.
Absolutely not.
The man reaches inside his coat pocket and pulls out a small blade. He holds it towards you menacingly.
My new friend! No! Just sort of smack him.
Roll a d20.
It's a 5.
5? Describe how the smack would go.
I'd walk over to, or run over to Billie and just kind of clobber him with the back of the palm of my left hand.
The small man that's standing by the door notices you run but doesn't realise that you're a threat at this point. As soon as you run up to the taller man who's standing pulling the knife out toward Billie, he's completely unaware of you. Just smack him really hard right around there and send him barreling across the side. He just about rights himself, stands up and looks around in shock. The bartender is completely taken aback. The priest has got a look of shock on his face, and you hear the guy in the corner with the moustache just go, ha ha, top notch, tally ho, and then stand up and pull out a mace.
Good work, sweetie. I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab you by the hand and start taking us all outside, trying to leave before they get up again.
As soon as you run, the smaller man that's standing by the door itself reaches into his pocket and pulls out 2 slightly longer short swords, standing guarding the door. These men clearly just want money and stuff, and the ship is leaving. You need to be on the ship relatively soon.
I would move out the way if I were you.
Why? What are you going to do?
I'm going to produce a fireball.
Okay, roll a d20.
16.
16. Describe how the fireball is produced.
So by clapping my hands together, it's going to like cause like a flint sort of situation, and it's going to like combust out of my hands.
Like sparks holding there, then you hold the energy there. It's intimidating for the guy. He's fought wizards before. He knows that you are dangerous. He knows that you are most dangerous at long range because you can throw fireballs. So as soon as he sees this, he lunges towards you with both daggers, knowing the best way to beat you in a fight is staying as close as he possibly can. He lunges towards you. Everyone roll a d20 for initiative.
Ooh. 14.
15.
7.
7. You just about realize there's a fight starting. Who rolled 15?
15.
15. The man lunges towards you. The taller man, who is still reeling from being smacked on the side of the head, is just about back in the fight and realizing what's going on, but will be at the end of the initiative order. The small man lunges toward you with 2 swords. What are you going to do? Your fireball is still...
Yep, I'm going to just like push myself back with my fireball and like kind of like push myself basically onto my bum, but keep it towards him. So if he comes anywhere closer, he's going to get burnt, hopefully.
He does get closer. He doesn't realize that you can't throw the fireballs, but can instead hold them in a static place. So you fall backwards and hold it in front of you, and he leaps, effectively trying to leap onto you. And as he does, his upper chest and stomach falls almost directly onto the full weight of this fireball. You're lying on your back, holding the magical orb of flame in front. He is leaning over you and has now fallen. Does the fireball itself have solid mass in the center of it, or is it simply flames?
It's like a tiny little sun at the moment.
Tiny little sun, which means it's solid and powerful. So as he falls onto it, he starts to scream, but he can't scream in the time it takes the intense heat of this fire to burn straight through his chest, out the back, and then before you know it, his body slumps onto you. A perfect singed hole from the center of his chest through out the back. He's coughing and gurgling, but his lungs have nothing to catch onto, and his hands simply release the blades, which clatter to the floor either side of you. The taller man has realized what's going on by now and sees his friend, his assistant, associate, be burned through the chest, and so reaches into both sides of his jacket and pulls out 2 longer, curved blades. That seems there's all there. He runs over toward you and jumps in the air. While he's doing that, what are you doing?
I don't know. So he's currently trying to attack her.
After having the small man have his chest burnt entirely through by this static fireball in the air, the larger one has drawn 2 blades and is running toward Yemmara.
Okay. I'd like to intercept and I'd like to just basically bulldoze this guy during the run if possible.
So you begin running toward the guy as he's charging.
Yeah.
While that's happening, Mullac.
I'm going to pick up both blades off the floor.
The ones that have been dropped by the smaller guy.
Yep, and I'm going to run with them in a kind of guard pattern towards the larger guy.
Okay.
In an attempt to try and chest kick.
Roll a
and
d20.
hopefully knock him down. That's a 4.
You pick up both the blades, you hold them in a guard position, and you sprint. The taller man runs towards you, sees you, and so simply slices one of the curved blades of his up between your defense, knocking your blade to the side, and then flipping the blade back on his own hand so his fist is in front instead of the blade, punches you squarely in the throat as hard as he possibly can. It knocks you back onto the floor. Please take 1d4 damage.
No.
Note how much damage you have taken.
First damage.
Note how much damage you have taken.
Nice.
Good.
You got a pen to note that down?
I haven't.
We'll find a pen. Note it down.
Thank you.
You see that the taller man has ran toward Mullac and punched him onto the floor. After the punch connects, the taller man slips the blades back round and gets ready, turns and sees you running toward him. What do you now do?
I would like to, as this is such a chaotic fight, and I'm just so overwhelmed. I would like to cast Reckless Attack, which gives me advantage on my attacks. So I am just going to literally I want to bulldoze this guy over and just pin him onto the floor.
Do you have a weapon?
Not on me. No.
Not on you right now. No. You're just going to run at this guy.
Still in the weapon rack.
He's punched Mullac, he's turned around and charged toward Yemmara, and now he's got his weapons up and you are running toward him. Roll a d20 with advantage. So roll 2, choose the highest.
15. 5. No, 3.
You sprint toward the guy. He turns, he holds up both blades to defend himself. He's clearly done this before and is a skilled fighter. but he isn't ready for your recklessness. He's used to fighting people who know how to fight, and it's very difficult to fight someone who doesn't follow the rules, if you will, of fighting, so he's not quite sure how to defend against someone just barreling toward him wildly. So he simply pulls both his blades across his body and braces to block. Describe how your hit would go.
I would run basically and kind of just like dolphin dive him in the center and kind of put my hands around like his waist, have my head down low and just kind of like swoop into him to try and knock him back, kind of like prone on his back.
It works. You manage to grab an actual arm around his waist, knock him onto the floor and almost rugby tackle him straight down. The problem is, as you've got him on the floor, he kind of sits up a little bit, raises one of the blades up, and then goes to bring it down into your back, which is just stopped by the man in the silver armor holding a small buckler shield in his hand just over your back as it pings into it.
Legend.
So you are tackling the guy, looking down. The tall, angry man is lying on the floor, trying to stab you in the back, and the large man with the twirly moustache in the silver armor is holding a buckler shield to prevent your back from being stabbed. As soon as the ping happens, he simply looks at the other guy. I've got to say, that's just not the way we do it around here, old chap. And with a single swing of his mace, narrowly missing your head on the floor, he clocks the guy in the chest and knocks him off you powerfully. He then stares at you. The priest in the corner is absolutely cowering still, amazed at what's going on. And the bartender is now a little bit concerned about the kind of fight that's happening as bar, but also happy these enforcers have clearly been taken down by something. The man in the silver armor looks over toward you. I say, you okay over there? You took quite the beating to the throat.
The head's still spinning a bit, but no, I'm good, thanks. Thank you for your help.
More than welcome, he extends a hand towards you. Francis Pumpernickle III's the name.
I will be sure to remember that in Mullac, and I reach out and shake his hand.
Ah, fantastic. And who's this charming young tackler on the floor?
Hiya, my name's Rage. Thank you very much for saving my life.
More than welcome, that's what I do. Travelling righter of wrongs. Fiend to the ne'er-do-wells, if you say. He reaches his hand out to help you up off the floor.
Ah, thank you. I take it.
Thumbs
I
up.
brush myself off. I say, what's your name again?
Francis Pumpernickle III.
Frankie Pumper. Nice to meet you, buddy.
That'll do.
Nice.
And I have to say, your fireball magic, gadzooks, that was impressive.
Thank you very much. I've been practicing.
I say, well, don't practice on me, whatever you do.
I won't.
Now,
Okay.
I can't help but overhear that you're all heading on the Lady Luck to the north.
Yes, actually, we are. It's here. We should probably go because we're going to be late otherwise.
It is indeed. I'm also going that way. Let's travel together. Hurrah!
More friends.
Yay!
Yay!
Right, what about that young chap over there, the nervous one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's coming with us too.
What's his name?
I think it was Nathaniel, brother. Nathaniel?
As soon as you say the name, brother perks up. Yeah, that's me.
Yes, that was it, Nathaniel. He's coming too.
Oh, hooray. Okay, we going?
Yeah.
The Lady Luck has arrived. Anyone who's coming should.
Yeah,
get
she's
on the
bored
ship.
now.
You check to make sure no one else is waiting in the bar for the Lady Luck, and then another man steps in, leans in. The bartender smiles, clearly knowing this man, and the bartender then is quite distraught at the fact that he's got a small man on the bar floor that's had a hole burnt through his chest by solid flame, and then a man who's had his chest caved in by a mace hit over in the corner. Both of these assailants are clearly very dead by now. But as the new man leans in, all right, last call for the Lady Luck going to Sailor's Rest to the north. Who's off?
We're on our way.
You see the priest timidly raise his hand, and then Francis go, huzzah! Off we go!
Can
Getting-
I pick the pocket of the guy who I killed, please?
He's dead, you do whatever you want.
Yes, I want to see what he's got in his pockets.
Roll a d20.
8.
8. He has 2 gold coins and a list of things. The list says running water, symbols, noise. I'll give you a list of this, don't worry. Running water, symbols, noise, and sunlight. It seems to be a list of things vampires are weak to. So whoever these people were, they clearly knew something was happening to the north.
I give. Sorry, what was your name again? Francis?
Francis Pumpernickle III.
It's not much, but here's 2 gold for your troubles.
My goodness, that's remarkably kind of you. But I must say, I'm not necessarily in need of coin right now. I have everything I need right here. He holds up his mace, a small buckler shield, then looks down at his silver armor. Huzzah!
You need food and drink, don't you?
Oh, well, if some happens to be available, then yes. That's a good thought, actually. You're remarkably smart.
Just take the 2 gold. You're welcome.
Holds out the gold, takes it, and puts it into a small pocket inside his armor.
As we are kind of making our way towards the ship, I'd like to lean over to Mullac. Did she just pickpocket a dead guy?
Yeah, that's quite common to do. Do you not?
I've never killed anybody.
Oh.
Have you killed people?
Yeah, a
Have
few.
you killed people? Well, never mind. All right, okay.
You'll get used to it, unfortunately.
It's okay to kill people. It's okay to kill
Well,
people. It's okay to kill
the circumstance matters.
The circumstance matters. The circumstance matters. Got it. Okay.
Perfect.
Right.
The
Let's
priest, the young priest Nathaniel, is kneeling down by the larger of the men who's had his chest caved in. The larger of the man is not entirely dead, but is struggling to breathe and move. Most of his ribs are broken, and he has some serious puncturing of his lungs because of the massive power of the mace that was swung into it. And the priest is attempting to administer some kind of last rites of the sunrise. You aren't entirely sure how this religion works specifically, but the priest is too scared to get too close to the almost dead assailant, but also trying to get close enough that he can do his priestly duties of seeing this guy through to the afterlife. He's looking over at all of you for any kind of help or support.
I just grab him by the hood and I'm like, come on, time to go. We're running late.
You just pull the priest out.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's not worth the hassle, mate. Come on.
You walk out the bar, just dragging the priest behind you as well.
Priest in tow.
Pulling him off into a land of adventure to make sure you know where he's going to go to. Yemmara, how are you feeling with this?
Can we see the captain on the ship? Is he ready for us to
Captain Liam was the
board?
guy that leaned in and checked to make sure everyone was here,
Okay.
and has walked back outside, back along the gangplank of the ship, and is standing and beginning to pull up some ropes onto the actual surface. He sees Mullac walk out, carrying a priest behind him, and kind of motions over that the boat is ready.
Just walking over to the boat, looking for where can we board.
There's a very rickety, slippy plank of wood that
we need a
just
ticket?
about goes up. Do you need a ticket?
Yeah.
You'd have to ask the captain.
Gonna go aboard and ask the captain if we need a ticket or just to Sailor's Rest, please.
Ah, well, you're in luck. It's my last trip there, so no ticket needed.
Aw,
Yes,
thank you.
not a problem.
Why are you not coming back?
Have you left the tavern as well? Leaving the tavern, the bartender is left alone to deal with the body of the burned small guy and the crushed, slightly taller guy. Not entirely sure what he's going to do with those, but he bids you farewell and sees that you are good, decent people. You leave the tavern and walk over the small distance of the village, up the gangplank of the moored ship. You've already walked on with the priest, I assume?
Yes.
And you are walking on following Yemmara.
Yes.
The Captain Liam is waving over to all of you and brings you all on. Right, is this everyone?
Everyone we know.
Francis has already sat over in the corner, twiddling his moustache again, and you've got the small tiny priest with you.
I have.
You see one of the person on the ship who wasn't in the bar earlier, a man standing by the bow looking out over the ocean. He's wearing a bandolier of vials of various liquids and gases, strange mixtures, some kind of alchemist on a travelling journey around the place, but he seems to keep himself to himself. The captain looks over to all of you. Right, so, are we all ready to be off?
I'm good to go. What about you guys?
I'm ready to go. So, Sailor's Rest, I'm assuming that's a
Indeed,
name.
last stop to the north, and then I'll be off this boat for good.
I'm very happy for you. Congratulations on your
Thank
last
you very
voyage.
much, my daughter. She lives in Sailor's Rest, and I thought, you know what? My sailing days are over. I'm just going to head over, moor up, drop anchor for the last time, and live out the rest of my years getting to see her grow old.
So is this your only destination, the back and forth between
Oh,
Phoenix Nest and Sailor's Rest?
I've done this route between Phoenix Nest and Sailor's Rest for the last 40 to 50 years now.
That's incredible. And you never got bored?
Oh, I've got remarkably bored, but you know what? All the fares I make, they go into my daughter's schooling, and she's a remarkably successful baker, and I'm proud of her. In fact, when we get there, I'll head over to the bakery, and I'll get us all some bread. How about that?
Sounds good. She sounds like a very well looked after daughter.
Oh, she is an absolute apple of my eye, light of my life.
Can't wait to meet her and try the bread.
Yeah, looking
What
forward.
does Phoenix Nest mean? Is there an actual Phoenix Nest here somewhere, or was that just made up?
Oh, the history of this is long and storied, but I think honestly it just sounded cool when they built the village. Phoenix
enough.
is a long extinct. I should go really far to the north, but you don't want to do that.
Why?
Phoenixes,
Oh,
they're dangerous.
I've never seen a phoenix.
Pray you never do.
Well, I would like to.
That's the opposite of what I've told you to do, but you know what? Live your life. Do whatever you want.
Oh, will do.
Right. If we are almost all ready, as soon as he is about to say we'll be off, he suddenly stops. And then he looks down at his leg, at his thigh. And sticking out of his thigh is quite a long blade. And then a single drop of blood begins to run down his leg. Back over toward the tavern, you see, leaning up against the tavern door on the outside, a tall man, carrying the one other blade that he had with him. His chest caved in, struggling to breathe, but he smiles at you. Damn, missed. He goes to throw the second blade, and Captain Liam drops to the knee that doesn't have the knife in it. There's a lot of blood coming from Captain Liam's leg right now.
Oh, no. See, this is why I say this to Nathaniel. I'm like, this is why we shouldn't try to resurrect bad people, to heal them. It's usually not worth the trouble.
The priest looks over. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. I was trying to help him, give him some peace.
Can you help the captain now?
Yeah, remedy it by doing that.
I can try. Nathaniel runs over the captain, kneels down, and begins to try and lay on some healing hands to the captain's leg, unsure what to do or what to deal with this. The captain is quite gruff and quite angry right now, and is trying to hold back a lot of screams of pain and is gripping his leg because there's quite a deep blade embedded in it. And Nathaniel is entirely unsure what to do, but is trying his absolute best. Francis has seen that there is some kind of commotion and walks over to you, clearly waiting for one of you to fill him in on the situation.
So are we actually sailing away, or we haven't sailed away yet?
You're still on the boat, on the dock.
Okay.
You have not sailed away. The gangplank has not yet fallen. And the tavern is probably, it's exactly a blade's throw away.
Okay, well, I want to, instead of a fireball, I want to firebolt the guy who's leaning up against it. I want him to be done with.
Which is much more
He's
focused.
crossed me.
Much more focused and small.
Do not cross me.
Okay. Everyone roll a d20.
11.
7.
8.
The tall man clutches his chest in pain. Clearly, he simply wanted his rent money for this tavern, but you guys had to get involved, and you had to kill his partner, and then you had to emasculate him, and then a stupid priest he's never even met came over and tried to administer last rites. So he pulls back his second blade, and he gets ready to throw it as far as he can, launch it, and hit one of you. You see his arm raise into the air. What do you do?
As he does that, I need to do something now to take him down. So I pull back my hand and I just...
Effectively mimicking a firebolt, flinging some to him.
Mimicking like an archer firebolt straight towards... I'm going to go for a headshot.
Roll a d20 for your accuracy.
Okay, come on. 18.
Yes!
As you hold your hand out, you can't see magical energy, but you can see the air become wavy where a shape of a bow would be. And as you pull back from where your hand starts, a trail of fire, suspended in the air, is produced from your thumb. And when you get it to the final end, it almost falls into the imaginary notch of a bow. You release, and it flies through the air, wibbling and wobbling as it goes, almost darting around the place, looking for a target, not flying straight like a regular arrow would. But eventually it realizes it's flying to wherever you are looking. You're glancing around to make sure everyone is safe and there's no one around. There's nothing flammable in this tavern, but your final gaze rests squarely in the eyes of the tall man. Normally, when an arrow would hit a nose, it would be diverted off to the side into the eye socket or down into the cheek because of the shape of the nose itself, but this is pure fire, and instead it simply hits and spreads around. The flames lashing into both eyeballs at the same time, the flames singeing the cheeks, the flames crisping up the skin on the forehead, and eventually, as the arrow fully penetrates and all the flames just embed themselves in this guy, melting through the front, melting his eyeballs out of their sockets, and he slumps straight down the side of the door he's leaning up against. The bartender looks out and looks over toward the ship. Liam, is he okay?
Is Liam, he's still kneeled over?
Liam manages to stand up, and he looks toward the small priest who's desperately trying to use what powers he has. I'd say this priest knows his stuff. There's no blade in his leg anymore, and the wound has healed up remarkably quickly. The blood has dried, and Liam hobbles over to the wheel of the ship. I've got to admit, it's It's not the first time it's happened, and I'm going to be bloody glad to get out of here and get back to my daughter.
I don't know why you would even stay here in the first place.
Yeah, no. It's
way too much crime in this area.
I was going to say, last hour, how much crime have we seen? Quite a bit. Yeah, no, let's get on our way.
The bartender waves you off. Captain Liam waves him. They kick the gangplank away, hoist the sails up, and begin to push off into the ocean. Brother Nathaniel is still standing over the edge of the boat, completely shaken by what he's seen and what he's done. This is more action than he's ever even imagined. He's read all those books, those fantasy novels of tales of daring do, but he never imagined there'd be quite so much blood or screaming involved whenever that happened. Francis is simply sitting on some of the wooden crates at the back of the boat, looking over to you. He slowly stands up, his mace hanging by his side, his buckler in his hand, walks over to you again. That was a bloody good shot.
Well, thank you. And again, I have been practicing.
Absolutely. Again, I hope it's not on me. My God.
Well,
tell me, you ever fought vampires?
No, why would I? No.
Well, we might have to. You've heard the rumours.
We have heard the rumours. Apparently there's a horde.
Oh, yes.
Where's it? Across the northern?
Yes, apparently it's coming down from the north, I think.
If we're lucky. Francis sits down. He actually motions Nathaniel to come over and join you as well, and he gets out a small paper map. Right, so, we're here. You realise this is a map he's just drawn on in pencil by himself. It's not a map that he actually got anywhere. We're going across the ocean, which is here. It's not blue, just imagine it's the ocean. It's just another bit of the map. And then we're going to here. Now, in theory, the vampiric horde is all the way over here, so we shouldn't actually encounter any when we get to Sailor's Rest. Might be quite a nice day of relaxing.
Well, that sounds perfect. I'm actually really glad. I think we've seen enough action for one day.
Excellent. I'm going to go and look at the ocean. Tally-ho! And he leaves you for the conversation, walks off, and just walks to the bow of the ship and just stands there staring out over the ocean.
Can I take a look around what's on the deck of the ship that
Yes,
we're
roll
on?
a d20.
12.
The Lady Luck is simply a small transportation vessel owned privately by Captain Liam, his daughter living in the northern city of, well, the northern village, if you will, of Sailor's Rest. There's not too much. He uses it to trade from city to city. There's boxes, some crates of some rotten bananas, a bottle of wine that someone's halfway through drinking, piles of rope, and then the occasional rusty sword. It's clearly a random trade vessel from A to B, or shuttling passengers from village to village. This was never going to be a big enterprise or a money-making scheme for him. Just a nice, simple life. It's a basic ship owned and built by one man.
I'd like to go over to one of the crates and kind of just pry it open to see like what's inside.
Okay, roll a d20.
7.
You pry the crate open. The nails aren't hammered in very well. Clearly Liam does everything he can round here, and he's not as young or as strong as he used to be, but you manage to pry it open and have a look inside. It's a small silver chalice wrapped in crinkly brown paper. And written on that chalice, it simply says, "For Mary."
Aw, that's cute.
Are you being nosy?
No. And I want to tear off some of the paper. I want the paper, not the chalice. So unwrap the chalice. Paper.
You manage to tear off a majority of the paper while leaving the "For Mary," most likely his daughter, as this is his final trip, on the chalice itself.
Okay, good. Nothing. Just I was having a look, that's all.
Is that yours?
Well, this?
I don't care about the paper. If that's not yours, you shouldn't be looking at it.
I'm not touching the thing in the box.
I obviously gave you a bad impression earlier.
Well, yes, you told me that it's okay to murder people.
Actually, I didn't say that. That
Well,
was Mullac.
technically you didn't.
Yeah,
but
no,
you
sorry,
did
that was
do
your
the thing.
fault.
You did the thing, and he said the thing. You know what? Doesn't matter. I've learned a lot today.
He was dead. He wasn't going to miss it.
Hold on a second. You stole the copper, the gold from the dead man.
She's
Yes.
not wrong.
But I gave it to Francis.
Yes, and I'm giving this to somebody else. And I'd like to go over to the shaking brother Nathaniel. I've got something for you. And then I kind of want to like fold the paper into like a duck, but I've never done this before.
Roll
I've
a d20.
20.
While folding the paper, you unlock memories of your ancestors. Storied origamists, all of them. known for folding paper into various shapes, and it just so happens that it comes totally naturally to you that you know exactly how to. It wasn't even square, the bit of paper that you ripped off. It was just like a random shape from the corner. But you look at it, and in your mind, you completely work out how to make. Was it a duck?
Well, I wanted to make a duck, but now it's going to be a phoenix.
It is. It's actually a phoenix followed by a trail of smaller phoenixes, all made within one piece of paper.
So impressive.
And if you move the final phoenix, the wings of the main one flap slightly.
Oh.
You've managed to make this most amazing origami thing.
That's incredible.
This one's not for you. Okay, yes, so fine. Yes, it's yours. Here you go. I made this for you. His name is Peter.
It takes it off you. This is a phoenix.
Yes, sir. It is.
Oh, we've just been from Phoenix Nest, so it makes sense because we met in Phoenix Nest, and this is a phoenix.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
I've never seen a phoenix.
Me neither.
Thank you. This is really kind of you.
You're welcome. You'll look after you.
Yeah, and I'll look after him, and then we'll look after each other, and we'll always be safe.
Yeah. We should we should make a secret handshake.
Okay.
Okay.
He puts the phoenix away carefully in a pocket in one of his robes.
Okay. So like this,
All right.
and then like this,
Okay.
and then like this,
Like that.
and then yes.
Okay. I've heard rumors of that in the monastery, but I don't know if I'll try. He tries as hard as he can. He looks like a fish flailing around on the actual boat itself.
Yes. Okay. That's our secret handshake. So if you ever get into trouble and you see me, that's always me.
It's a secret handshake.
Yes.
Okay. While you're discussing and teaching your brother Nathaniel the secret handshake and giving him the most amazing origami phoenix he's ever had, Francis is simply standing out and staring over the ocean, and the strange man wearing the bandoliers full of strange chemicals is also looking away. Captain Liam is rubbing his leg. It hurts quite a lot. Who would you like to go and talk to, Mullac?
I would like to go and talk to Captain Liam.
You walk up, he looks over to you. Not what I wanted on the last voyage, but hey ho, what can you do?
No, it's not ideal. Is it feeling better after the priest?
When we get there, I'll have a sit down, I'll have a jug of mead, and I'll have a nice slice of bread, possibly even toasted.
First drinks on me when we get there, then.
I will hold you to that, my man.
Good stuff. I notice you've got vials on your bandolier.
The bandolier man is the one that's standing on the other side of the ship.
It's the guy on the other...
The captain himself is just standing there with his leg.
Oh, okay. I notice you have a leg.
Yeah. You'd be amazed the amount of sailors that don't have two.
Exactly. How far off are we from docking?
Probably about 2 days. If we catch the wind, day and a half.
Day and a half. Okay. Right. So are you planning to go and visit your daughter as soon as we get there?
Oh, we get there, I drop anchor, we dock, and then this ship ain't sailing again. Not under me.
Perfect. Okay. And you're sure we're going to clear the horde in good time?
If all goes luck, we're not going to see any vampires at all.
Good.
I know there's rumors, and I know people talk, and I've heard the tales of Valash, but they're just tales.
Well, let's hope so.
Absolutely. While you're talking to the captain about the journey, Yemmara, what are you doing?
So the captain, I'm guessing he would know the most about Sailor's Rest as he's from there.
Most likely.
So I'm seeing Mullac talk to him. Did you say a day and a half's journey?
A day and a half if we catch the good wind,
Well,
2 if we don't.
That's not bad, actually. That's quicker than I was thinking. Do you know, is there a library in Sailor's Rest or...
Oh, goodness. It's changed a bit since I last got there, but I can't imagine they're the reading type. You'd always travel to the north. There's an abandoned monastery that might still have a couple of books lying around in it, but it's not been kept for years.
Well, that might be just the place I'm actually looking for. I'm looking for a unique text.
Oh, really? What about? I'm not really a reader myself, but I might be able to point you in the right direction.
I'm interested in dragons.
Okay. I'd ask you respectfully that we don't talk about them too much over the next 2 days. It's considered bad luck while you're in open waters to talk about them.
I'm sorry. I won't bring them up again.
I appreciate that. When we dock, though, Monastery to the north. It's abandoned and it's old, and it's one of those old priests of the sunrise things. I think they ended up, they had a garrison there years ago. But
Like the priest on our ship here.
is he a priest of the sunrise?
He is, apparently.
Ah, they've not got many churches left. That would explain why he's going to Sailor's Rest. Is he on his pilgrimage?
Oh, it's all
I
coming
think
together.
he is. Yeah.
He said he's a pilgrim. I don't know what that means, but yeah.
It means they're travelling to special religious sites that are important to them. One of the last churches of the Sunrise is in Sailor's Rest itself. It's just a thing they have to go and do. The monastery to the north was originally actually a vampiric prison.
Ooh.
Now, it's not the first time there's been rumours of a horde sweeping across the land, so they built it, ready to save and all the people and hold all the vampires. There's everything you could want there. Running water, bells, all that, all that malarkey, but never used. Cost far too much to keep, and so they just abandoned it.
Do you think there's any vampires in there? Can we go?
If they're going to be there, they'll be the stupid ones. That place is as anti-vampire as you can get.
Yeah, it's a bit like walking into a prison if you think about it.
But maybe there's some left over.
I mean, there might be.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out, yeah.
We're
Captain-
gonna go?
Well, I need to go. I don't know what your purpose
Can I come
here,
with you?
if you wish.
The captain talks at length about the monastery to the north of the actual village itself, abandoned many, many years ago, built on the rumours of a vampiric horde, but never actually used. Brother Nathaniel is eavesdropping and hearing you talk about all this, and actually getting quite excited that people know what the priests of the sunrise are at all. He's just kind of happy to have met you and is super excited to be on an adventure for the first time.
Nathaniel?
Yes?
Sorry, Brother Nathaniel.
It's okay. We don't need the formalities until we're actually in any kind of church, and even then I'm not going to be... I wouldn't tell you what to do. I mean, you can if you want to, but I wouldn't say that you have to call me that.
Formalities are actually very important. So please correct me if I'm wrong. In your church, do you have old scriptures or unique scriptures of dragons?
Oh, dragons don't feature too heavily in the sunrise, but they have dragons of the light, dragons of fire. It all adds together. I mean, the sunrise itself is effectively a huge ball of fire.
Well, exactly. I was hoping that you might have just any text there, or perhaps some indication of anything in the north.
The small church itself in Sailor's Rest is not too well stocked, but we can always have a look into the monastery, although I think it was looted years ago.
Well, it's a start. Thank you.
There you go. See the formalities? Oh, goodness. He walks away quickly, not quite knowing what to do with that. Francis is over in the corner laughing at you. You're highborn, aren't you?
Yes, but I don't try to... Am I being uncomfortable?
No, not at all. I'm highborn myself, don't you know? Family owned a lot of land in the west, but I looked around and I thought, if you've got all the money and time in the world, what are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to learn how to use a mace, and then you're going to go and make life better for other people. It's nice having money, though, isn't it? I've got to say, but something about the adventure, wind in your hair, blood on your weapon. Huzzah.
I don't know about the blood on my weapon, but sure, the wind in the hair is nice.
Well, let's get back to this journey. I heard that you were going to the monastery to the north.
That's my location. You're joining me? And you, Mullac?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I'm not here for any particular place. I'm looking for a man, and this seems like a good detour, being as I don't really know where to start.
A man about what?
Well, he's a man. He used to own a big manor back in my hometown, and I believe he may have been the murderer of my mother and sister.
I feel like I've stepped too far. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. It was quite a few years ago now, but I vowed to hunt him down, and I've been tipped off that he may be over here.
Wrong that must be righted. Huzzah! Well,
Yes.
if our journeys take us down the same path, you can definitely count on my mace and my shield.
I will be counting on those multiple times, I'm hoping.
Francis gives a final huzzah and then walks off to again look out over the ocean. Captain Liam is standing at the helm, driving the boat effectively toward the land that you're going to now, the adventure, the possibility. The strange man wearing the bandolier of orbs of gases and liquid is still over in the corner and still hasn't been spoken to or even glanced over at you at all. Brother Nathaniel is sat on one of the boxes that you pried open earlier, as it has the springiest lid, as it's not actually nailed down anymore, so it's acting like somewhat of a pillow for him. He's simply standing there being a little bit nervous and worrying about it. And in about a day and a half, you will arrive at the northern village of Sailor's Rest. Captain Liam will be able to spend some time with his daughter. You'll be able to try and find any books in the small church. Brother Nathaniel will be able to go to the small church and complete his pilgrimage. And Francis will be able to right whatever wrongs he finds. And hopefully, you'll have completely missed the vampiric horde. Won't be a problem at all. The journey will take about a day and a half. Is there anything you'd like to do before you go to sleep?
I would like to talk to mysterious Mr. Bandolier.
The man standing there, simply staring out over the ocean. You walk up as quietly as you can behind him, but he still realizes you're there. What?
Hey, I noticed you didn't board with us. Are you? What sort of business are you on?
Who wants to know?
Just me, just making conversation.
Just traveling around, collecting things, selling things, buying things. Who are you?
I'm Mullac. I'm just taking the ship out with my friends here.
He extends a hand strangely toward you in almost an oddward jerky motion.
I extend out and shake his hand.
People call me Mix. I'm an alchemist of sorts. Travel around.
It's a fitting name.
I try. What do you want?
You say you sell things.
I do. What do you want to buy?
Well, I'm sure some potions wouldn't hurt for the journey ahead.
I'm sorry, no. I sell expensive, rare things. Things that, I'm looking at you and...
I mean, looks are deceiving. I'm actually a relic hunter.
You're a relic hunter?
Yeah.
Well, clearly you haven't found any, because the people that find relics, they don't continue hunting them. They buy a big mansion somewhere and sit and live, so you'll forgive the fact that you look just...
No, I have found some relics. They've mostly been to order, though, so I don't get the full price of the relic. It's normally just a bit on the side.
Okay, you're embarrassing yourself now. Everything I'm wearing is more important than your life. So if you could just leave me alone while we finish this voyage, that'd be terrific.
You know what? That sounds like a fantastic plan. And I 180 and just start walking the other way.
Mix turns around and stares out over the ocean again. An alchemist, a treasure hunter himself, an incredibly arrogant, awful person all around. But he does have a lot of very rare vials of things on him that are remarkably expensive or remarkably dangerous. You can sense a magical energy coming from some of the vials, and you can see that some of the gas is swirling inside the little glass containers itself. Definitely not natural.
Can I go over to Liam, Captain Liam?
He's standing there, still at the actual helm. It's beginning to fall darker now. He's still rubbing his leg as it's been stabbed recently, but as the sun sets, you can see that Brother Nathaniel is doing some kind of ritual and then looking to try and go into the boat itself to sleep, and even Liam is starting to get a bit tired.
Hi, Liam.
Hello, I don't believe I caught your name.
It's Rage.
Rage, it's lovely to meet you. How can I help?
You too. Can I have a go?
I'll drive the ship.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
12.
I don't see the harm. Have you wanted to be a sailor before?
Well, I've never actually seen a boat before.
First time on the ocean.
Yeah. It's
Come
quite
on then.
Nice.
He steps aside and motions toward the wheel. Hands here and here.
Okay.
Now, you can't throw us off course too much. Don't worry. Don't hold it too tightly. You don't need to. You're strong. But this is about feeling where the boat wants to go and then pulling gently back against that. The sails are doing most of the work, and it's a pretty simple job. He sits down and just watches you drive as you smile while doing it. Mullac, you have attempted to talk to the alchemist Mix and discovered he's a bit of an arsehole.
Yeah.
And Rage, you're driving the ship currently.
Daddy-daughter bonding time with Liam.
Yemmara, you have attempted to speak to Nathaniel and told him that actually it's important. And you spoke to Francis as well, who has bonded with you as highborn as well. Is there anything you'd like to do before you settle in for the night of the journey?
Yes. So firstly, you said that there was half a bottle of wine left over?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I would like to find it and then see if I can find a clean glass. And if not, I'm going to try and find a way to clean a glass. And I'm really trying to get every speck out of it.
Roll a d20.
Just drink out of the bottle.
18.
Right next to the wine is what looks like a cleaner wooden box. And you can see peeking out from a smashed corner a glass inside. Clearly pristine, part of the actual cargo that's been transported.
Just going to pour myself a big glass, sit down on one of the crates and kind of just watch everybody and be I really hope that the beds are comfortable and just have my drink.
The night slowly drifts on. You all find a nice comfy place below deck to sleep. Captain Liam takes back over from the driving of the ship once you get a bit tired of it, and the wine slowly sends you into a slow stupor. The journey is pretty uneventful. You simply travel north along the gentle ocean as the moon passes overhead. As the sunrise goes for the next day, you see that Nathaniel is standing on the deck of the ship, greeting it with another complex ritual, clearly taking what he's doing remarkably seriously. And as the sun begins to rise on the second day, you see him hold his hand up as he did before, and a much larger amount of heat and light appear from it. Almost a small, minute sun in his own hand. He holds it for a second and shakes it again. You can see a burn mark on his hand. He can perform the ritual, but it hurts him to. This is what he's slowly working toward getting better at. You have about a day of sailing. It's uneventful. It's boring. It's simply straight ahead, and as the dawn greets you, the sea grows darker. Not the sky, but the sea. And then you see Liam lean over the edge and look. Oh, not again. We're almost there. Right, I'm going to need everyone to grab something sharp and pointy.
Why?
As soon as you say why, the sea begins to go perfectly still. And then all of a sudden, from around the boat, 5 large tentacles lash out of the water, sending droplets and spray up into the morning sunrise, casting a beautiful rainbow over the ship as they do, before splattering down onto the deck. The tentacles begin to writhe around, splashing at least 10 meters high around the boat. That's why.
Right, yep, on it. I'll just grab my rapier and start running towards the front of the boat.
Rage, what are you doing? A massive squid is underneath the boat right now, and tentacles have suddenly lashed out from the side of it. It is about to wrap itself around the boat and pull it down under the water.
I kind of I'm stunned in awe watching this. I've never seen it. Wow.
Yemmara.
I run up. Hello?
Huh?
Come on, do something.
Oh,
Protect yourself. I know you're really young, but...
Oh, yeah, okay. And I want to pull my warhammer out from my hand with one hand. What do we do?
As soon as you say, what do we do? You hear Brother Nathaniel screaming, "Ah!" running past you down into the ship itself. And then you hear the equally messes, huzzah! As Francis runs back out from in the ship to the top, pulling out his mace, pulling out his bandolier. Right, what are we doing? Oh my goodness, a squid, fantastic! He begins to charge toward one of the tentacles and goes to almost leap off the side of the boat to hit the tentacle itself. As this is happening, Mix runs up the steps as well, onto the top, looks around, sighs, pulls off one of the vials, and goes to launch it at one of the tentacles. And we will find out how well you deal with the squid next time.